Hi, I'm ActiveSteve for Get Out There magazine, and today I'm reporting from the hometown of Wiarton, Willie, and I'll be covering the Bruce Peninsula Multisport Race. So I'm here at the Spirit Rock Lodge at my tent camping site the day before the race, getting my gear sorted. There's actually two different events tomorrow. There's a 100-kilometer long course and a 25-kilometer shorter course.
All racers had to make their way to the Wiarton Rec Center in order to do registration, gear check, and pick up their swag bag, which included a whole bunch of goodies.
We're about 30 minutes before the race start. We're here at the water, and as you can see, the sun is just coming up over the water. It's glass smooth right now and looks like it'll be perfect conditions.
And the conditions were spectacular indeed. We got to paddle directly into the rising sun for the start of this paddle, which was 16 kilometers in length. It took us around an island and then back to where we started off. This made up for the fact that we had to get up at, well, around 4:30 in the morning in order to catch a 5:30 a.m. shuttle bus in the darkness. As you can see, there were a number of different boat types in the race, including tandems. When you got off the water, you pulled your boat onto the shore and made your way to where your gear was stored for the next leg of the race. That included your bike and any equipment and food you might need for that leg of the race. Then you hopped on your bike and pedaled off onto the 36-kilometer bike course. Although we started on pavement, it didn't take very long before we were into the good trails. Those at the front of the race had the option of doing an additional 6-kilometer single track, which took you out along the escarpment with some amazing views of the Bruce Peninsula and the valley below. Even if you didn't do that little section, however, you were still treated some great single track through the woods, as well as some rides through farmers' fields and some of the back roads in the area. The final stretch was on gravel roads, and it was well attended by volunteers to point you exactly where to go in order to transition to the trail run.
So far so good. Finished the paddle and the bike, onto the first trail running leg, 20 kilometers out on the Bruce Trail.
The Bruce Trail is, of course, the gem of this race, and whether you're biking it or running it, it was spectacular anywhere you looked.
Beautiful views along the Bruce Peninsula.
The trail presented challenges to everyone who participated, whether you're pushing for the win or just trying to get through it and complete as fast as you could for yourself.
Here's a neat little section, a beach run along the rocks in the blazing sun, getting kind of warm. So just finished up the run, about 20k on the trails. It's getting pretty hot out there. Transitioned in my bike gear. I'm ready to head out on the second bike, which is about another 30 kilometers for the final 6k run.
The next bike leg was pretty similar to the first one, where we started out on gravel roads but then made our way into trails once again. It's worth noting that on this race course, there aren't aid stations like you might expect in other races. Instead, racers must be pretty much self-sufficient for the entire race, so you have to carry enough water and food to last you through the day. However, there are plenty of volunteers on hand to cheer you on and sometimes even sing.
Just came through the final transition, put on my run gear, and I've got 5.5k left to the finish line. So just crossing the 100-kilometer mark in the race. I'm back on the Bruce Trail for the final section.
And that final section of the trail included something pretty unique to the trail. That was a spiral staircase down from the escarpment to the waterfront. From this spiral staircase, all we had to do was run along the shore towards the finish line.
It's the final couple hundred meters of the race. Running back into Wiarton, about to cross the finish line.
Racers were greeted by cheering fans, live music, a fresh meal, awards ceremony, and random draw prizes at the finish line.
Well, that's it for me from this year's Bruce Peninsula Multisport Race. Some amazing scenery out there and a great course. If you haven't done so yet, you should really think about signing up for next year's.